Big day for the Miami Dolphins, naming Adam Gase as their head coach, 37 years old, youngest coach in Dolphin history. Habib, Andrew Abramson here to talk about that hiring. Andrew, early thoughts on the new coach?
Well, first of all, I mean, he was one of the hottest coaches on the market. There's other teams with vacancies, so the fact that the Dolphins, I think, were able to get him, clearly says something about this whole search. He seems like a smart guy. I know they like his intelligence. He's a guy that didn't play football. He didn't play college or pro football, but it seems like somebody that the players that he has coached before really respect. So it's going to be an interesting hire and a really big hire for this organization because the last few haven't worked out.
They haven't, and Steve Ross knows that he's got to get this one right. A lot of pressure on him. Even though Gase has a lot of credentials that you want in a coach, looking at some of the things he was able to do in Denver and how he was able to straighten out Cutler's interception problem, there's still that question in fans' minds, are the Dolphins finally going to get it right because they have failed so many times in recent memory?
Yeah, and I'm sure Stephen Ross wishes he had a crystal ball here and he could tell you if this is going to work. Obviously, there were other names out there. You talk about Mike Shanahan, Mike Smith, experienced guys. Terrell Austin, Detroit defensive coordinator, very well respected, but they went with the young guy. They think he's going to turn it around. And you think about Ryan Tannehill, quarterback. I mean, obviously so important in his franchise. He helped turn around Jay Cutler last year. So I'm sure they hope that he's the guy that can lead them for a long time and help Tannehill reach his potential.
It's definitely all about Tannehill in so many ways because this team really goes as far as Tannehill takes them. And now it's a matter of can Adam Gase do for Ryan Tannehill what he was able to do for Jay Cutler. Obviously, the Peyton Manning thing is one that you kind of have to look at and say, well, Peyton is Peyton. He's his own coach. And to some extent, that's true. But I also have to look at, you don't want to shortchange Adam Gase in this case. And when you hear Peyton Manning say, this is a guy who helped me a lot, that carries some weight for me.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, he said he hasn't studied Ryan Tannehill. He hasn't even really seen him play that much, so he didn't tell us much about his feelings on him. But certainly it's going to be a big year. And the Dolphins have offensive weapons. How about Devontae Parker, Kenny Stills, Jarvis Landry? They have the receivers. We'll see if this offense can get it done because they did hire an offensive guy.
They did. And one other challenge that Adam has facing him, as we all know, Dan Campbell was wildly popular in the locker room. I talked to one player the other day and asked him about just how popular Dan is. And his response was, when I asked him if it was an overwhelming respect and a wish that Dan would get the job, he said, no, it's not overwhelming, it's unanimous. So now Adam has to win over the locker room. I think if he gets that respect and can get the team on track, start winning, well, that wins over the locker room in a hurry. So that'll take care of that. Another thing on Adam's plate in the immediate future is he's got to put together a staff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I think he is the offensive staff pretty much. He's going to call his plays, but it's going to be important to get a good defensive coordinator in there. Obviously, the defense really struggled this year along with the offense. So, we'll see the next few days how they get it going.
And we'll also see, given how young Adam is in his first head coaching job, maybe some of those assistants that he surrounds himself with are going to be more on the experience side. I can't help but wonder if that's going to be something that he looks at.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't think it's necessary, though. I think you can have a young staff. They have young players. I think they're going to try to find the brightest minds. I think that's what they hope they found with Adam Gase.
Yeah, I think so, too. And only time will tell. It's day one of a regime. Everybody wins on day one. There's always optimism. It's sort of like opening day in baseball. Where it all goes from here, we'll have to wait and see. We'll be reporting on it every step of the way. Habib, Andrew Abramson, thanks for watching.